Hello, one and all. I've been playing Bloodborne. This is the first Dark Souls part that I've recorded since then. I'm not going to do a blind Let's Play of it, obviously. Wooly and Pat, even, they're doing it together, of course. And even they know well enough that maybe they should they're not doing like a real, quote-unquote, playthrough like I'm doing, where we stand around looking at things and whatnot. I think they're cutting it up in some fashion. Not sure what exactly, but that's what they're doing. I will not be doing that. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, because it's turning out to be quite a long game. Not in the sense of its actual length, but just the fact that, because of the way that the game plays, it's probably going to take quite a while to actually get through it completely, as efficiently as possible. So I'm probably going to just have to just keep playing it until I feel like it's actually natural that I'm actually, getting through the game at a reasonable pace. Man, I forgot how... I'm used to seeing on Bloodborne like a, 20-something thousand to level up, so actually seeing 70,000 is kind of jarring. Okay, anyways, in regards to Bloodborne, I'm not going to go too much into it now. I was thinking about doing a first impressions video, but maybe not. I'm really not sure yet. I actually have not played Dark Souls since then, but oh my gosh, it feels so much better to be in Dark Souls now. I don't have to tell you guys, I really don't like in any of the Souls games, any of the, like, flighty, everything is on roll, roll through everything. Rolling solves every problem ever. I hate playing that way. I can play it just fine, but, to me, it's just not fun. I don't like doing it. I like feeling resilient and, like I'm resisting attacks and things like that, and as I've said in the past, I know the reason why they changed that and why they got rid of it. But, if you were to change it like I said, might have to work on the idea of a design doc or something sometime that actually, tries to resolve all those problems. But as far as, Bloodborne goes, it really does feel like they took a Souls game, all the rolly, dodgy, like grain ring sort of gameplay that people used to do, took that, cut it out, cranked it up to 11, and got rid of everything else. So now, my kind of first impression of it is that they have reduced the number of playstyles down to basically 1, maybe 2. So you need to play that playstyle. You don't have a choice in the matter. Which is really irritating the snot out of me, because I don't like playing it. And as people found out on Twitter, I'm not really having a problem with it. I keep having to sell health vials because I never use them. I can play the game like that just fine, I just don't like it. It really is growing wary on me. Like, I can't play it for too long because I get so tired of the constant demand to just press B to solve every problem. It's like a QTE in which you only have to press one button, but you don't get a prompt for it. Just press B all the time. And in that case, what I'm doing is just using, like, especially whenever you're attacking enemies, they will, like this, you see how slow this is? This is like 10 times as slow as Bloodborne is. Bloodborne is hyperactive, to the point that it's actually detrimental to some aspects of its own gameplay. And, like, you'll be attacking an enemy, 1, 2... and the enemy will just decide mid-combo. It's not like in this game. Like, if you attack an enemy, you can usually pretty much, like, if they don't have poise or something, if you break their poise, you can kind of just keep going, and that will stun-lock them into oblivion, as long as you have the stamina to keep attacking them. In Bloodborne, you will attack them 1, 2, and then they'll just decide, I'm gonna attack him. And they'll just hit you, and knock you out of your attack, with an attack animation that is like, 4 frames long. Like, it's almost instantaneous. It may as well not even have an animation. So, just a lot of things like that. It just absolutely drive me bonkers. Right now, I mean, there's a lot to say about Bloodborne that I'm not going to get into completely right now. But right now, it's not, Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is a very fun game in its own right. I think I actually enjoy the combat of Dark Souls 2 better than I do Bloodborne. Like, of course this is just me, I really don't like the combat in Bloodborne. Just because of me. I can do it, again, just fine, but it drives me crazy. But as far as, like, its ranking, like, if I were to say that a Dark Souls 2 was like a an 8 out of 10. I would say like Bloodborne is probably like an 8.5 out of 10 or something. But in a completely different way. Like the world and stuff looks pretty nice, and there's... I'm not gonna... I need to try to restrain myself from getting too much into it. But you get the idea. A lot of Lovecraftian influences and all sorts of things going on. But that's for a Bloodborne video. Not gonna go too much into it just now. I've already spent 5 minutes rambling about it. But the gist of it is that it's fine. It's a good game. It has a lot of problems structurally. I think that they didn't really evaluate the combat system as closely as they should have because they were too obsessed with the idea that rolling is something that everyone needs to do, and it's so skill-intensive that obviously that's way better than just raising your shield, because it's, you know, why should we bother elaborating more on the idea of using a shield and armor? Because that's hard. You know, you actually have to, like, do things like get animations to work in sync with one another and things. Why do that whenever you can just focus entirely on dodging and crank dodging up to 11 and have everyone using 2-frame dodge animations all the time with almost infinite stamina and the ability to heal instantly, which complicates PvP and turns everything into 1-hour-long matches, and a lot to say. Anyways, some note-taking first of all. Actually, a lot of these are conversational, so I'll save them. But let's see, undead dragons may still be alive. Some people said this, but just suffering from old war wounds, or Nido, for example. That's a possibility. For example, they're not dead. Like, the dragons that we say are undead, maybe they're not dead. That's the idea. That maybe they have just been through so much that they just look really fucking shitty. And, they haven't completely lost their scales of immortality, which is why they look in such disrepair. I kind of like that idea. It gets rid, either obviously from a design standpoint, visually they're undead dragons. But just from a lore standpoint, that's the best way that I could think of to try to resolve that. So yeah, let's run with that. Okay, I've been avoiding stepping out here because these guys will start playing this funky Cold Medina music. It's really fucking irritating. Chilling at the bar, looking for some action. But like Mick Jagger said, holy shit, these women have turned into tentacle monsters. Pasakas, I think that's where they are. These guys probably are going to turn around and start running up to the stairwell up here. I don't much think too highly of that. Wonder if he'll... Yeah, there we go. And you guys are not too bright. Usually they do escape, though. Usually, like, one of them at least will run his way up to those stairs. I don't know why they do that. I have no idea why they run past you up there. They don't do anything. They just... You'll kill them and then clear the area, and then they'll come back down later and attack you while you're coming back up. I don't know. It's really strange that they scripted things in like that. But first... Oh, yeah. Hello, sweetie. Come over here. Yeah, I got things to talk about. Can't really... Every single time that I see an enemy attacking because of Bloodborne, I'm always thinking, oh, I need to press B, and everything is so slow now compared to this. Which I really love. I love that about these Souls games, because it actually... See, I actually made a mistake. Because it actually makes things more about decisions. Like, the reason why people say that whenever you die in Dark Souls, it actually feels like it's your fault, is a lot of the reasons because of that, because you can actually see things happening. And you actually have the thought in your head, oh, what I did was really stupid. Whereas in Bloodborne, everything is happening so fucking fast that, if you die, usually it's like, well, that thing hit me out of my animation using a 2-frame startup animation of its own. That was not fair to me. So, you know, a lot of the times it doesn't feel fair that you died in Bloodborne. Of course, I imagine this is going to change over time, because once people get... play more of it, and they kind of see the ins and outs of how everything works and whatnot. But that does not help. Let's see. These books all over the place. This is a gigantic-ass library. Now, don't ask me exactly how they managed to access any of the books that are over there. You're not gonna... Okay, no, they're still down there. Don't ask me how exactly they access any of these books. Usually there's, in like a library like this, there's a fun wheelie little ladder that goes all the way around that spins all over the place. Which I guess might be that... nah, probably not. Maybe it's something that they had removed at some point. Because obviously this place is in disarray. Books are scattered all over the place. So maybe the old research that Seath was into maybe has been abandoned over time. But you'll also notice that there's some cell doors that we can't access. So it is unusual that this, in addition to being a library, is also doubling as a prison. So I would contend that this place was probably constructed somewhat recently, whenever Seath decided to start experimenting on human beings. Or human beings / and the gods, or whatever exactly he was up to. But anyways, you'll also notice that this place is covered in Seath jizz. Seath jizz is just all over the place. All these wonderful crystal little shards all over the place. What that means, who knows, just... I don't know, it's unclear exactly if the crystal stuff is something that is unique to Seath, or something that all the dragons do. We only see it in relation to Seath, and specifically in relation to magic, specifically. So probably just him. Probably just him erupting in earthly delights all over the place. Who can say, really? What was in here? Nothing? I'm pretty sure it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. Okay. But you can go ahead and open that for no good reason at all. Let's see. In regards to that... No, I don't need to talk about that. You just said. Okay, I'll say that for later. Alright. Let's go ahead and get on the way to the bottom and take care of things down there. And these... You'll notice that these are locked ahead of time. So we're going to have to go all the way down and get a key in order to start unlocking these doors up here. Although they're not terribly important, not terribly important. We're going to find out exactly what these things are that I'm chasing down. Lovely little creatures, aren't they? Kind of pretty in a way. I mean, look at them. You don't often... It's kind of unusual that they look this way. You really don't see anything else in the game that even remotely looks similar to this thing. I love these slow animations. I feel so much better. You can still screw up, though. I mean, it's because you also move slowly. It's pretty easy. But these weird, I feel so much better being in Dark Souls now. Like, I've developed a love-hate relationship with Bloodborne. But more on the hate side of things, because the combat is the thing that just wears on me so much in Bloodborne. Because you have to think about it so often. It's just... Whereas this game, I can be a little bit more relaxed, because this game is more about memorizing movesets than it is just constant mashing and, you know, just worrying about attacks all the time. And I find myself actually trying to dodge more than use the shield now. I probably don't even... Yeah, so I probably don't even really need to use the shield, but it's nice to have it now. Okay, there's nothing in here. Oh, yeah, there is. I don't think there's anything important, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, press an extra key. I can't even remember this thing. Actually, have I looked at this yet? Archive Tower, cell key. This is what I got from the Serpent Man that was leaning up against the bars. Now that the value what they hide. Yeah, okay. And this one is Archive Prison extra key. Perhaps the Serpent Men were careless, for there are several keys scattered about which fit Archive Tower cells. I don't know. It is weird that it would be on a corpse. It seems to imply that this guy somehow managed to lift one out. Like maybe they're a little bit too much in the habit of leaning up against cells and taking naps. And maybe this guy lifted it off of one, and maybe he tried to escape and was killed, and he ended up hollowing in here or something. I have no idea. It is unusual that we have a bonfire up there. I kind of chalked it up to gameplay. Like, you need to have one there, or else you're going to be trapped in here without the ability to heal or leave. So obviously they want you to have a bonfire nearby. But as far as lore significance, it doesn't really make any sense whatsoever that it would be down here. Other than maybe Seath put it down here, or, his channelers or whatever. Put it down here in order to ensure that there was no escape. That even whenever the undead died and their bodies had to reform, they would, these things are kind of sexy. Look at them writhe all over the ground. Nice. But maybe they did it in order to, ensure that, the undead bodies could not reform outside of the Duke's archives. It's just a way to entrap them here. That's what I'm going to assume. These things can overwhelm you pretty easily, so you need to be at least a little bit careful. Bleh. I don't know what exactly they're spitting. It is sort of whitish. It kind of looks like water. But you'll notice, like, in a lot of areas of the game, like, for example, if you jump off the edge of something and fall into the sort of blackish, abyss-looking bottom areas of a lot of levels, or even, like, say, if you kill a Silver Knight or something like that, they will dissipate and they sort of have this watery effect to their death. And that sort of is meant to look sort of like souls, I guess, is what it's supposed to be implying. And these things do have a grab, so you want to be careful of that. Might have to show that off, actually. I don't know. Anyway. In any of the Souls games, my pet peeve is getting hit. So I always end up trying desperately to learn how to never be hit, which is why I'm kind of having problems in Bloodborne. Not because I'm getting hit a lot, but because I'm not getting hit a lot. The game seems designed around the idea of you being hit all the time. And having to, you know, kind of constantly relying on the vials. But since that's not happening, I've had to sell 99 vials from my box, my bottomless box that it goes automatically into, several times now. And it's kind of getting on my nerves. I don't know, that's an entirely different thing. Again, you shouldn't be mouthing off about it too much just now. Anyways, let's focus on these lovely ladies. These lovely ladies down here, notice, are a little bit different from the ones that we've been fighting. You try to listen a little bit closely to them. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? That fucking music. These goddamn snake men blaring their fucking rap music at 12 a.m. I'm going to go up here and put a stop to this before I do anything, because I really want you to be able to hear their moans, their sexual moans, of despair a little bit better than not at all, because these fucking snake men. And it is kind of good that I'm wearing this this Slumbering Draker's ring, the Ring of Fog, because otherwise they probably would not be overly happy to see me right now, and would probably be attacking me. I better heal, why not? Really don't need to, but whatever. Oh, don't target him! Fucking hate that about the targeting system. Yes, come on. Now you can parry these guys if you want to, it's not really necessary. It's a good thing this black halberd is so long. Down to get the friction on. Yes, indeed. Nah, you have terrible aim, my friend. Although playing Bloodborne makes these guys seem especially slow now. Although, again, that's probably just because I'm getting a little bit too overconfident as a result. Another Man Serpent Greatsword. I couldn't find you earlier in Sin's Fortress, now I'm just... Don't have to get rid of this. I have to do this. This is the one downside. The downside to having everything is that once you have everything, you don't need anything else. Oh, I never got rid of these stupid things either. Let's just leave a big pile. I don't even care. You're gonna watch every moment of this, because I just don't care. I'm gonna drop all these Dark Hands. I think there's a pile of these in New Londo somewhere, too. Man Serpent Greatsword. And while I'm doing this, where the hell is it? Because I'm trying to look over at my notes at the same time. Yeah, go ahead and drop this. Okay. God, for God's sakes. I fucking hate that shit. Let's go ahead and turn off this shit as well. Oh. You have no idea how irritating that is, too. Okay, anyways, with this thing, they're playing that because the Picassos down there, the tentacle snake squids, Cthulhu. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. But the ladies, the blue ladies down there, don't like this at all. They kind of dislike it just as much as we do. So if you turn this off, it will keep them from leaving the area down there. Like if you were to reset everything at a bonfire and then come back down here, they wouldn't leave. They would just sit down there as happy as can be. Well, as moderately happy as can be. So for some reason, this thing drives them fucking crazy. Why? Who knows? It drives me crazy, so maybe that's why. It just sounds fucking irritating. But you'll notice that it's covered in these nasty little scales right here. Which obviously are not related to Seath, because he doesn't have any scales. So I guess these are just scales from one of the snake men, maybe? Who knows? Or maybe as a result of some sort of experiment that Seath had going on, in which he was trying to artificially make scales, and this is one thing that he actually came up with as a result. The way that it's folded onto it, I don't think that this is just decoration. Maybe it somehow is... like it's like a record player. It has there's some sort of mechanism that we're not aware of that maybe is causing it to play the scales, and what you're actually hearing is, you know, the musical interpretation of what the body of the skin happens to be, which is kind of creepy in a way. Maybe that's it. You can make music out of anything. There are people that have composed music using methods that, like I remember as a kid listening to one that was made out of a rainbow. You know, it was like, he based it off of the, like, algorithms that were generated for some mathematical nonsense by looking at how exactly light forms in a prism or something. It was, I don't know. Musicians do all sorts of crazy-ass shit. They're weirdos. Fucking musicians, man. No! Shut up. Stupid, silly snake man. With your... have you ever noticed this kind of lace? I think I pointed this out before. Kind of this chain lace on the back on their backs. Kind of weird. Kind of hot. But mostly just weird. Anyways. This chest does contain something of importance. The Archive Tower Giant Door Key. Quite a mouthful. Quite a mouthful. Let's take a look at it. While I look over my notes one last time. Okay, giant with no record. Opens the giant door of the Archive Tower prison. Whoops. Key to the giant door leading out from the uppermost floor of Archive Tower. So the place that we are in is called Archive Tower. The archives. And whenever things are archived, what does it mean? It means that you don't use them anymore. So this is kind of that's the, well, not necessarily. Sometimes they refer to places as archives just because it's a repository. It's where you keep information whenever you need it. But in other words, it's not being accessed right now. So for the most part, this is where you keep things that you are not using for quite some time. Anyways, which now serves as a prison. So apparently this did used to be a thing before it was expanded out into being a prison. Whether it was actually this size or not, I don't know. So it appears that it was not constructed too recently, although, who knows. There's all sorts of assumptions that we can make. But yeah, that's the idea. It's an archive tower. That's it! The key's design resembles not the key of a prison. Indeed, the tower was once no prison at all, but a trove of precious tomes. So yeah, it used to be a trove of precious tomes, and eventually was converted over into being a prison. Which is kind of weird once again, because there doesn't appear to be any way whatsoever to actually access it appropriately. As far as the design of the key, it does sort of, you'll notice all these things, kind of look like they have the same Seath jizz shit all over them as, like the doors and stuff happen to have. So, I guess it's just a nice little aesthetic thing to look at. But you'll notice even up here, if I can keep quiet for a moment. Come on, ladies, come on. Not gonna do it? Really? Okay. Well, whenever I was up there, they would do it. But even from there, you could hear them crying. You could hear that in the background while I was speaking. In addition to their weeping, you can also hear this kind of writhing noise as the little tentacles and stuff move all around the place. Again, it is so strange that you would think that if Seath is researching the scales of immortality, then these things would look like the Snake Men, that they would have scales and they would look like something of that nature, because these are experiments. Now, what exactly these things are, we're going to find out in a second. I hate to do this, ladies, but actually they probably kind of want this to happen. If you do kill them, they're going to drop something. But it seems like if you do attack them and you don't kill them outright, they will attack you, I think. No? They don't? Okay. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Maybe they only attack you if the snake player up there is still going on. Come on, sweetie. She just gonna run away? She did stop crying. No, she's just avoiding me. Just like real life. You can notice on her face, though, they have these kind of big, long, barbed stinger things on there. But she doesn't seem to want to bother me, so she remains a nice person. Sorry, sweetie. but you gotta go. And that you probably want to be put out of your misery anyways. Something that is unfortunate, maybe since if they were experimented on and they were undead, and kind of they are the way that they are now, it could be that they're going to revive, and it's what I just did amounts to nothing, possibly. Oh well, sucks to be them, I guess. Well, let's pick up whatever it is that they left behind. Miracle Soothing Sunlight. So they carry miracles. Since they carry miracles, there are two assumptions you can make. Either they are gods, or goddesses, or whatever, or they used to service the gods. Miracle Soothing Sunlight and Miracle Bountiful Sunlight. These are both miracles related to the Princess Guard Covenant, which no one ever uses. Ever. Soothing Sunlight. Special miracle granted to the maidens of Guinevere, Princess of the Sun. Restores blah blah blah, no one gives a shit. The miracles of Guinevere, the princess cherished by all, grant their blessing to a great many warriors. How generic can you get? Well, that's the idea. The idea of that covenant is that any other heal spell only heals you. These, actually, if you use them, I think so. It's been a long time since, obviously, my internet doesn't work, so I don't co-op. And even if you do co-op, it's way more efficient to just kill things than it is to go around trying to heal people. Especially with a local AoE heal that barely works, so no one even uses these. But the idea is that you can actually heal other players that you're summoned to help. But that one, and I think this one kind of says the same thing. Yeah, it seems something. Gradual health point restore. So, obviously, just worthless. Absolutely worthless. But anyways, this is the idea. Is that these two used to be, I guess, in addition to other ones, maidens of Guinevere, Princess of the Sun. Now, when exactly they were abducted, I don't know. It could be that they were actually abducted prior to Guinevere leaving, which kind of would make a little bit more sense, because why would she leave her handmaidens behind unless they had been abducted? So maybe this was just one more thing that served as an example to the gods of why they should leave Anor Londo, because Seath was just starting to go nuts. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe they actually were left behind and Seath took the opportunity to actually abduct them in the process. Again, more Seath jizz on this particular door, but nowhere else. It's not on the bars, it's just on the door. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to go into many sexual metaphors or anything. And by the way, of course, we will notice out here outside, I can't believe I didn't even mention this, but all the fallen cogs and whatnot. I'm guessing that at some point, the thing that was used to actually access all the books was this thing, whatever it happened to actually be. And it looks like there's some platforms here. It's been a long time since I've actually even looked at this. But lots of rusted cogs that obviously have not been used in a pretty long time. And I think that's it, just the cogs. Big turn wheel nonsense. Huh. Little bolt thing right there. Never noticed that. Not important, not at all, though. But that and... what did I just get through seeing? Is it not just that? Maybe they are all cogs. No, is this part. Okay. So that sort of serves as a... sorry for this, but I'm actually looking at how it could have actually worked. But it looks like... okay, this used to be attached to something, it looks like. It looks like it might have been broken off or something. So at some point, maybe they didn't actually deconstruct it. Maybe it did kind of fall into disrepair and just fall apart or something. I don't know. But anyways, they haven't bothered repairing. It looks like this part used to actually be connected to something up above. And it somehow turned, and this cog was the last one to turn, and maybe that was how... like it used to be like a bridge or something that would turn around, and that's how they access the books or something. That's my best guess. Anyway, sorry. And floor tiles. I think these tiles actually come from the ceiling, I think. I can't look up. Probably came from the ceiling. Anyways, yes, Logan is down here. Since he couldn't mind his own business, he got so excited. Whenever I... actually, Sin's Fortune was already open. Huh. And I guess once I placed the Lord Vessel, then he got excited. And don't ask me how we figured that out. But anyways, once the fog lifted, he was able to make his way through Sin's Fortress once again. Back into Anor Londo, and he, much like us, was captured. And now he's stuck down here, just filling with himself, the same that he always does. Never accomplishing anything at all. What do you have to say for yourself, Logan, you miserable failure?
Hello again. a chance meeting this is. Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose you could stage me a getaway. The archives. Such a storehouse of knowledge. So close, but just out of reach. The thought offends me so I could simply die. As a student of the arts, you understand me, eh?
Unfortunately for him, dying is not really an option. Since there's no bonfire in here, you would think if I just killed the man, then he would revive outside of the cell at that bonfire and we would be able to escape. But no, that would make sense. That's how dare I think about things logically. But anyways, he's here because he has a raging boner for books. He wants to put his, like a pop-up book, he wants to use pop-up books to thrust deeply inside of their pages and create his own magical seath jizz and whatnot.
Hello again. What a chance meeting.
And that's it? You're just going to repeat them? Oh, wow, it's just going to repeat the whole thing. He didn't even have a second one. Oh, well, anyways, we can't open the door just yet. And that's why usually I cheat in the key here, because in order to unlock this, you have to go through all of the archive tower and the majority of the rest of the whole fucking shitty Duke's archives, then get the key and then come all the way back through the area that you have already cleared, and then you can leave. Fucking irritating. Anyways, a few things to go about in my notes as far as comments go, and now that we have the key, we can open this. Archive Tower cell key. And there are a few little delightful little sweeties in here that we can deal with as well. And since I'm using this, the rings, and they don't notice me, that's the reason why they didn't turn around. And we can drop down here, and I think... No, okay, that's good. There's no one in here. And there's nothing in here! Hooray! Completely worthless. Completely, absolutely, totally worthless. I love it. I fucking love it. And just to make sure that you guys see, there is nothing in here. It's just, you can do that if you want to. And accomplish absolutely nothing. I guess this is to kind of show you that you can do this. That one cell actually can lead into another. Why would they have cells that lead into one another anyways? Like, you throw a guy in here, he's gonna go down here, and then kind of look over the edge and be like, oh, there's another cell. I could drop down here if I wanted to. But I don't know. Who fucking cares? And I just like complaining about things like that. Anyways, let's get out of here. Nick Mullen says, if you know, could you possibly talk about what a bonfire actually is? They're first flame extensions, basically. That's the gist of things. There's the first flame that's in the kiln of the first flame. We can open this door as well. And Gwyn, of course, is using his own soul to keep that lit. The first flame to keep it, fired as much as possible. Because supposedly the light soul actually scales with the intensity of the first flame. Like, the more intense the first flame is, the more light it casts. We can see something glowing over there, by the way. The more light it happens to cast, the stronger that the light soul happens to be. So that's the reason why Gwyn is igniting his own soul in order to maintain that. The individual bonfires themselves are sort of fueled by our own humanity. Like, the Firekeepers, obviously, are burgeoning with humanity, and whenever the undead visit the bonfires and kindle them and so on, they offer up their humanity to the Firekeepers themselves. And, by the way, you want to be careful about this. Make absolutely certain make certain you drop punches just right. It's funny that even whenever you land, it doesn't make any noise. Anyways, just that. But that's the idea. They're just, we're supplying our humanity to the bonfires. And whenever we ignite them, I'm not sure exactly how we ignite them. It probably would have made more sense if we had used our own humanity to ignite them. But that's not what happens. That's not what happens at all. By the way, you can't really get out of this area back to where you were without re-navigating the entire area. Whoops, should have rolled. Well, I did try the roll, but it just didn't, of its own accord. That's one of the annoying things about Bloodborne, again, is that's kind of the one thing about... I think I just got through saying that at the beginning, but... The idea that since everything is moving so quickly, that it's not obvious if you did something wrong. So whenever you dodge something in Bloodborne, you always feel like you dodged it. Like, you press the button and go, ah, that felt good, I should dodge this. But then you get hit anyways. And I'm sure if you go back and look at the video, there's like, oh, it ended on frame 21 instead of frame 20. My mistake. How dare I? But it does always have that, it leaves you with this notion of, that was not fair, what just happened. It feels that way all the time. And there are plenty of instances in Bloodborne of parrying an enemy, but you get hit anyways, and it knocks you back out of their range as they go down, or they die even. I've actually died to things quite a lot from them having some one-hit kill move that I actually parry, but it hits me anyways, and I end up dying from that. It's really fucking stupid. Anyways, how'd that even relate to the question? I don't even know how I got onto that. It's amazing the things that I can pull off. Amazing. That leads back on that. Oh, right. It's been so long since I've thought about this, but I was trying to remember exactly how I was supposed to get over to... is it here? Where did we see that thing that I needed to get? Was that the thing that I just got through picking up? It goes in a circle, so I kind of disorient myself very easily. But anyways, we need to get to that glowing thing over there. Because it's not important at all. It really isn't. Samael 11... Ask a big, long-winded thing that probably could have been summarized a little bit better as an email. But he basically asks, is the Dark Soul trying to reunify itself? Maybe. Maybe. It does sort of imply a design, and this is another thing. You can very easily die here. I may even... It's been since such a long time since I've done this, I could easily die. This thing right here... Like, the thing that's going around this sort of spine right here. Don't try to jump on that. If you do, you'll probably... You will sort of roll off to the side, and it will cast you off the edge and probably get you killed. You're trying to jump onto this tiny little plank down here. So if I die... Right there, exactly. Okay, that's good. Alright, but it gets us down here to this. And there's nothing over here. But is it trying to unify? Maybe, I don't know. As far, like, that does seem to imply that there's some sort of design or mechanism behind it, which I don't think is the case. I mean, the first flame itself and all the souls are just sort of a metaphor for existence, and what existence entails and how you're supposed to exist and so on. So actually trying to give it too much of a backstory and say that something made it or something like that, I think it's probably taking a little bit too far because that's never supposed to be the point in the first place. So I don't think there's really too much of a mechanism behind it exactly. But I did want to bring up the idea of it trying to unify, because I wanted to point out in regards to the comment that Keith makes in regards to the legendary life drain power that the Dark Lord has. And I think I mentioned this the last episode about the idea that, why does he refer to it as the legendary life drain ability? Has it happened before? Has it been other Dark Lords and so on? I want to point out that maybe it's possible that he only considers it to be legendary, because he considers it to be obvious that humans will naturally reunify into a Dark Lord. Because what do we do as undead? We have to go around stealing other people's humanity in order to keep ourselves going. That's one of the themes of this game. Is that in order to persist as human beings, we have to exploit other human beings. We have to subsist on the suffering of others, in a way. So... Naturally, whenever we have an oncoming Age of Dark, what would happen? All the undead would remain undead, but they would slowly start sapping the humanity from other people, and naturally we would sort of reunify from all these fragments of the original Dark Soul into a fully powered Dark Lord, because we're so now powerful and, just overwhelmed with humanity. Which does sort of distinguish what we are from Firekeepers. Firekeepers have a lot of... Firekeepers have a lot of humanity, but they don't seem to actually be powered by it. It's just something that they seem to contain, like it's physically in them, but it's not part of their souls, in the same way that we seem to use it. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. Really complicated, isn't it? You will notice this corpse is a female corpse because it has a bra, so you can't see its nipples. Because if you could see its nipples, that would be lewd. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pillage it. Take all of its clothes off. Thank you very much. And we get the maiden set and a white seance ring. Let's first look at the clothing. Why not? If I can find it. I say that every single time. that I come into this thing. It's probably on the top since it's a cloth. Here we go. Okay. And let's make sure that it's the same thing. Okay. White robe worn by traveling maidens. It is part of their formal attire regardless of rank. Rhea sort of... I think she actually wears this set, or maybe it's something that looks almost exactly like it. She sort of wears this thing. It is soft and well made, but does not offer much in the way of defense, making it ill-suited to use in battle. So this used to be a traveling maiden. Why is that important? It really isn't. It's just... if you wanted to collect every set in the game, this is where you would get it. Let's go ahead and drop back down, enter the bonfire. I'm really not fond of all these mandatory, you have to take damage to get back sort of places in the Duke's archives. There's lots of things about the Duke's archives that I absolutely, this drives me nuts. And it was probably a bad idea to do this whenever Bloodborne had actually come out. Because I wouldn't have had time to sort of do a trial run to go through and see where everything is. So, really bad decision on my part. But you'll notice these doors look very, very old and decrepit looking. They're really scratched up too. Almost like something was trying to get out. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there were doors that were replaced or something, or moved from someplace else. But that's the idea. It is weird that nothing else in this area sort of looks that way. So it seems to be sort of well-maintained except for these doors. Really strange. But the tower key that we got earlier, that's what this is for. Let's go ahead and push these doors open. Seath should have jizzed on these doors too. That probably would have kept them nice and shut. That stuff's sticky. Okay, let's see. Oh lord, look at your name. Why have you done this? Brandonius15987. What, were there 15986 before you? Come on, man. This is probably a birthday or something. We know what your birthday is. Actually, that still doesn't make any sense. I guess it could have been 915. Maybe he's foreign. You're probably from Europe. That's probably it. Anyways. What did the Four Kings do to earn Gwyn's favor to get their piece of his Lord Soul? Considering what happened in Udasul, you think it would need to be something, some sort of amazing shit to share with humans. We did sort of go over that in the description of the soul itself. I see you. Little rascal. But it just says that oh, really? You fucking hate it when enemies jump like half a screen away. Little cheap little bastard. The Hollows especially do that a whole lot. But we're going to come out here. You can see all the... I'm going to have to go take care of these guys first. Because they are dickheads. Especially this arrow guy. Go ahead and kill you. It takes them quite a while to actually turn around. So you're probably not at much risk if you just rush in. Bloodborne sure loves that, doesn't it? Loves trying to force it. Bloodborne is fucking obsessed with monster closets. I swear to God. I'm never fooled by it because I obviously play very slowly. I creep forward, I look at everything, I turn around, I check corners and everything. But holy shit, do they love, like this shit of having a little bitty indention somewhere that serves no purpose other than to store an enemy whose only job is to see you and go, oh, I hit you! That shit, Bloodborne is obsessed with it. And if you think that Dark Souls 2 overused mobs of enemies, you have not seen anything until you play Bloodborne. That shit is which it kind of has to be. Given the game is about dodging and R1 spam, basically. It kind of has to be that way. Okay, anyways. Praise the sun, yes. Memes ahoy. Anyways, sorry, in regards to that. Yeah, we've read it up before, the soul that we actually collected. Actually, is it still in here? Might have already... I'm pretty sure that's still in here. Oh, well, anyways. But the soul basically just says that he appreciated their foresight, which I don't know what that exactly implies, exactly. Other than, he apparently considered New Londo, the leaders of New Londo, he considered them to be, on top of their shit as far as, how he wanted things to go down. What exactly they were doing that he was so pleased by, I don't know. They did seem to have a lot going on in regards to the use of embers and things like that. That's probably my best guess. Then maybe somehow he was infatuated with that or something. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. But there was a link between New Londo and Gwyn and whatever it is that he thought was so special about it. But again, he just seemed to think that they had great foresight, that they saw what was coming, and he wanted to establish them as being, these are my dudes, these guys fucking rock. Which was kind of funny. It's just this. The thematics of it is that they were Gwyn's chosen ones, and they ended up falling harder than anyone else to the Dark Soul. Like, the desire of humanity. That's the idea. That's the whole point behind it. You're really not supposed to worry too much about why exactly he thought too highly of them. The point is that he thought highly of them, and they fell. They were his chosen ones, and they ate it harder than anyone else. That's the idea. Yep, there's a door. There's a door up here. In case you weren't looking at the screen, there is a gate just floating in the middle of space for no good reason. Why it's there, who knows. Probably just something that one of the level designers put there and then they forgot about it. One of the problems with FromSoft is that they don't pay any attention to the internet or fan feedback. And a lot of the, like, their balancing things and PvP and things like that they do once games are released are done internally. Like, they just trust the people that are actually testing it, in-house. So whenever people will talk about things like, say, the Monastery Scimitar in Dark Souls 2, it took them forever to even realize that was a thing because they don't pay attention to anything that's going on in the community. And that's one of FromSoft's flaws, is that they don't really pay any attention to that. I know that some people have, like, had meetings with Miyazaki and his staff, and will mention certain things to him, and he will be completely surprised by something that we consider to be basic knowledge. And I'm not going to go too much into it because that's a whole other thing. But that's just one of their flaws as designers. Something that has gotten them into a lot of shit in the past because they don't listen to anyone. Which is kind of an advantage with some developers, but with some other times, it is a big disadvantage. Down there is just more do Londo shit. Probably just a picture. It's probably not even a model at this point. It's probably just a background thing. Nothing much going on in regards to the visuals other than the floating doorway into nothing. There is the dome. I do appreciate that they actually, you know, since it's a dome inside, it's going to be a dome outside as well. How did he see me? Where's that coming from? Is the one... Yeah, okay, it is the one that's up above. Okay, wow, that is impressive. That even at this range... I know that I commented before that the channelers have amazing vision, even with the Ring of Fog on. But that is fucking impressive. That I was actually standing out by the railing and he still managed to see me. There's also one over here, which is what I'm trying to avoid. See the little dickbag? Play that funky music. No, playing funky music today. You want to... You don't want to get overwhelmed by those guys immediately. But there's nothing over here, just more of this shit. I think there... No, okay, it's later that the chest actually shows up. But this place, I'm actually even considering stopping at this point, because this is going to turn into a nightmare very quickly. But the goal is to try to turn the levers in order to get these stairways to move so that we can actually access them. Really inefficient design. As far, like, assuming that this is a place that people are actually supposed to use, it's really inefficient that, oh, I need a book that's on this side. Send Bill down to the next level to turn the crank so that we can actually do it. Seems kind of stupid. Seems kind of stupid. And, let's see, that is the bonfire there. So let's go ahead and do that, actually. Oh, come on, really? Oh, I fucking hate those channelers. Magic guys are such little shit faces, don't you think? Just standing up there, just spamming his fucking attacks over and over again, and I know you're here. I'm not gonna fall for this monster closet shit either. And this guy, thankfully, normally, if I didn't have the Ring of Fog on, this guy would have been attacking me in the back, but since he can't see me, since I'm, what the fuck's that wrestler's name? John Cena. Since I'm John Cenaing it up right now, he does not bother me. John Worf asks, or says, and this is a long one, maybe I'll stop for a moment. I'm having to look over my microphone just to see the fucking thing. So it seems the Dark Soul can be split infinitely, and all humanity is a portion of the Dark Soul. Similarly, the Light Soul can be split more than once, as evidenced by Gwyn carving off pieces here and there. It's true. It's not really clear exactly if he's actually removing it, or if he's establishing it as its own soul that grows over time or something. Whether or not, like, the conservation of of energy and things is not something that really applies to this universe too often. So if it actually diminishes his own power or something, I don't know. Maybe he's just making another segment of it or something. Who can say? But anyways, that is how the other races are established. The Witch of Izalith, if you want to call her Quayla, if you want to. Quayla, Manus, Gwen, and not Nito in this case, all seem to split their own souls off to create their offspring. And this is question. Do we have any evidence that Nito has split his own soul? Is this what gives the necromancers power over the dead? Whether or not the necromancers that we fight down in the catacombs, the guys with the adorable little skull lanterns that are actually raising the skeletons over and over again, whether or not they actually are human or not, I don't know. It could be that they are undead. It seems to be. And I guess they used to have some sort of ancient agreement with see. Have I been here before? How come this doesn't have a thing on it? I must have picked this up at some point. I don't remember doing that though. That's weird. I must have come out here before. That doesn't make sense. Maybe not. I don't know. God damn it. If you move your analog stick just right, you tend to ignore your own auto tracking. Yeah, I already have that too. They drop that shield and they drop oh, nice. Really? He's coming from that direction? That's strange. It should be coming from that direction. Oh, well, anyways, sorry. They drop that and they drop the crystal things. By the way, what's happening is I'm gaining Estus Flash charges because another player nearby is actually using humanity to kindle it. And it's been a long time, but I think... Is this the Mimic? It's been a long, long time. Watch it. Yes, it is. See, its mouth is finally open. Okay, this is a Mimic. It's been so long since I've even thought about it. I think I usually even ignore this one, because I think it's just a crystal weapon that I'm going to drop anyways. Oh, it's a crystal night shield. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I think the night shield is that noob shield that we actually pick up at the very, very beginning of the game. So that was a long-ass time ago. Is this the first area? It's been so long since I've thought about it. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. So the elevator right over here. Like, you pull this. This will bring the elevator down that leads to the boss room in which we, quote-unquote, fought Seath the first time. Let's actually go back out there, just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. That'll give me time to read off some other shit. But anyways, in regards to in regards to Nito and the necromancers, they're probably humans that had some sort of agreement with Nito at some point. And it does seem to be implied that Nito is actually splitting off his soul, or at least giving power, or however you want to phrase it, to the dead of other races. Like if a god dies, if a human dies, if a witch dies, then he gets their body, which they seem to bring their bodies to him for some reason. Probably some sort of ancient agreement, like thanking him, saying, thanks for helping kill all the dragons. Here's some corpses. And Nito, just rattles his bones in excitement. Yay! I got dead bodies! And, I'm pretty sure if you go back through here, you're going to be killed by him once again. So we don't want to do that. But I think I will actually... I don't even care. I really don't even care. Let's actually, just for the hell of it, just to make absolutely certain that this does not go terribly wrong, because I want to be at least somewhat safe. I'm pretty sure that this works the second time, but I didn't show this the first time. You can go, this is the only fog like this in the game. You can go through the fog, see Seath, and nope right out of it, and say, nope, 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 not doing this, and turn right back around and leave. Pretty sure how that works. Yep, he's still here. Still pleasuring himself. Just gonna nope right out of here. Let's go back to what we're doing. That's enough of that. But yeah, you can fight him as many times as you want. I think that's supposed to be a beginner's trap, basically. It's just supposed to try to trick you into killing yourself over and over again, because that is an unwinnable boss fight. It's just supposed to show you, hey, you're not, something is up with this. You're not supposed to be able to do anything to him. this is the thing that I wanted to show off. I forgot about it. Anyways, to end that last part, yeah, that's where he gets the skeletons from. He's separating his soul and putting them inside of the skeletons of dead people, and that raises them back up. Now, why exactly he needs the corpses of humans and gods and so forth is kind of interesting. I'm not going to speculate too much on it right now, but it is really interesting that he actually needs that, because you would think that if he's putting him into something that's not alive, then he could just, like, jam his soul into, like, a brick, or, you know, sperm that he shot on the ground, or so. I don't know. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. And that would make it come to life and start jumping around and saying, I want to be a real boy. And Nito's like, no, you're dead. I don't know. It's been a rough day. Anyways, that's the idea. Wait, science reading, which we got from the maiden set earlier that I didn't read off. Sorry. A divine ring entrusted to the head bishop. Oh, yes. Can't wait for this. Should I read off anything else? Because this is going to take a while. Because, yeah, D. Glad says, I think you're responding to the prison after mandatory stupid death probably has to do with Ceith's research. He probably found some way to control revivals. Not complete mastery over death, but at least a little bit of control over what comes after. Maybe that's the case, who knows. Maybe part of his research was that he was able to somehow make people automatically, once they die in the Duke's archives, automatically go back to that bonfire or something. I don't know. That's one thing you can look at. That's one interpretation. And there's one last one down here. Corridas La Paz, I think. Corridan La Paz. I'm probably screwing your name up, but it's your fault for having it. How dare you be different from America? How dare you? I always wondered how Ceith got so scaleless anyways, because his lack of scales means he's mortal, which means that he must have been born recently or made scaleless recently. That's a whole other thing, but, seeing that I don't think that the Grey Dragons had children, I'm pushing for the latter. I kind of agree with you that the Grey Dragons thematically shouldn't have children because they don't live or die in the first place. But again, as we said, that whole opening cinematic story may have been bullshit in the first place. More or less. But why exactly he doesn't have scales, we don't know. The game never actually explains it, because I'm pretty sure that Miyazaki didn't even care. They just wanted to include Ceith because they're making yet another reference to prior games. Moonlight Greatsword, etc. And they just wanted him, so they took him, and that's it. That's probably as far as the logic of that they cared actually goes. But it does seem to imply that he was born, because how else would a dragon that does not have scales and actually has, like, legitimate human concerns about jealousy and, oh no, what am I, and how am I different, and he feels bad inside, and it's tearing him up, and he doesn't know what his sexuality is, and, you know, all this other stuff. It seems weird that he would exist in the era of the Grey, in which nothing ever happens. Doesn't make any sense. I guess you could say that once the first flame happened, that maybe everything became mortal, for some reason. Even the dragons, which are basically just stone. You know, that's the whole idea. So, you know, if that's the case, then how come things like just the trees and, you know, stone didn't come to life as well? Because once you go down to the Ash Lake, then the trees down there are still stone. They haven't become trees. It's only whenever they grow up into Asgard that they actually become wooden trees. Which to me says that whenever the first flame actually originated, then things didn't, or whenever they gathered the Lord Souls even, that everything didn't automatically become mortal. I think that the things in the Greylands stayed that way. Because, you know, otherwise, why would they need to destroy the dragons in the first place in order to ascend and get up to the Asgardian world that we live in now? Doesn't make any sense. And that's the reason why that the trees, once they grow up into the world that we live in, suddenly become living trees. That's the whole idea. So, the whole idea behind Ceith's existence does not make any sense to me whatsoever. You can probably make up some sort of nonsense of some kind, which is kind of our jobs as players. But anyways, yeah, I agree. Doesn't make a lot of sense. How he got scaleless in the first place, who knows? Where exactly the crystal that he's using to stay somewhat immortal right now came from, who knows? It kind of implies that the dragons had it at some point. Why would they have it whenever they have the scales of immortality? Why would they even be storing things like they're living life forms in the first place? Who knows? Once again, who the fuck knows? Anyways, I wanted to get all the questions out of the way so I can spend the rest of the day talking about this. White Seance Ring. A divine ring entrusted to the head bishop of the Way of White and impossible to All-Father Lloyd. Uncle to Lord Gwyn. I'm gonna let you sit on that while I take a drink. It grants additional attunement slots. Who cares? The head bishop of the Way of White is the guardian of law and caste, and one of the great royals of Thurland. So remember all the Thurlandites that we've been meeting, like Rhea and so on, Estrella. They're associated with the Way of White. The Way of White is a church that was created sort of by Lord Gwyn. And it was to try to institutionalize the idea that the gods are gods. Like, what their real names are, I have no idea. Like, there's humans and witches and gods. And, maybe the gods used to be called something else or something. Who knows? But, Lord Gwyn says, no, we're gods. You know, you need to serve us. That's what the Way of White and the Church of Thurland, that's what all of that is about. And, they're trying to ensure that human beings are serving the gods. Like, they donate their humanity to keep the Age of Fire, which is the Age of the Gods, going, even though if they stopped, then the Age of Humans would happen. You know, it's a vast conspiracy. That's the whole idea. Miyazaki was basically trying to redo the concept from Demon Souls of, like, there's good magic and bad magic. But then you learn, oh, they're the same exact thing. There is no real distinction between the two of them. And what people, you know, and what the, supposedly the good guys consider to be good is actually, you know, just as bad as anything else that anyone else is doing. So it's just nonsense. And this is sort of that idea, once again, that, what if I can... No, it doesn't matter. Okay. But that is that idea, once again... I'm gonna get attacked as soon as I can. It is that idea, once again, that the church is kind of sinister. That it's kind of the same exact thing as the alternative. Which Miyazaki does not really pull off quite as well as he did in Demon Souls, I'd have to say. And let's go over to the other side, why not? But that is the idea. Okay, but in regards to that ring, it said it belonged to the... Actually, let me go ahead and look at it once again. Backstab these! Sperms! No, come on, I don't even give a shit. Little fucker. And don't you come up here, don't you? No, don't you fucking start with me. I think there's a channeler down here, too. Is he still down here? Yeah, he's still down there, but he doesn't see me. Good, I don't have to deal with that as well. Anyways, let's take a look at this ring one last time before I move on. I was so excited about coming and finding this ring. I really was, and then I completely forgot about it whenever I picked it up. Oh, I should probably unequip it. Let's go ahead and do that, actually. But anyways, Divine Ring entrusted to the head bishop of the Way of White. So that woman that we found was the head bishop of the Way of White. But more importantly, I mean, ignoring that, it is interesting that the head bishop, like the head bishop of the Way of White, was abducted. And you can assume that because she was the head bishop, then she probably exhibits the same sort of qualities that the Firekeepers have. You know, this virginal quality of, oh, she's so pure and good-hearted and things like that. This element of goodness. But that maybe, and that Seath abducted her as well. Or it could be inferring that the head bishop of a corrupt organization was also abducted, and it doesn't mean that at all. Who knows? Make up your own minds in regards to which of those interpretations you want to run with. But anyways, the most important thing about this. Apostle to All-Father Lloyd. We've read about All-Father Lloyd before. We had, I think it was the gold coin that actually mentions him. But it doesn't go into anything. But this may be the most important little bitty bit of information in the whole game. All-Father Lloyd, uncle to Lord Gwyn. And I looked this up in the Japanese version of this game. I looked up what word they use. I translated the fucking thing by hand. And the implication seems to be that even though this is Lord Gwyn's uncle, the word that they use, which I can't remember, I think I wrote it down. No, I'm not going to go into my Skype chat history with German Spy to figure this out. But the idea is that he is the uncle of Gwen, but he is he's young, like he's sort of the youngest brother. Like, it seems to be inferring that he is that is the inference that he is, just he's kind of near the same age that Gwen is. That's the idea. But he is still the uncle of Lord Gwyn. And you might think, well, so what? That implies that Gwyn has a father. And you think, well, of course. Now think about this. Think about this. What exactly is Gwyn? There are 4 pygmies that found souls in the first flame. The souls of life, of death, of light, and dark, right? Gwyn, Nito, Quela, and Manus, supposedly. And before that, all the pygmies were just dumb fucking pygmies. They don't have any sense at all. They're just pygmies. They don't know who their father is. They don't know who their mother or whatever it is. They're just mindless animals. It's like asking, like a raccoon, who's your father? It doesn't know. How the hell would it know? Anyways, sorry, I should probably go down here. I was kind of dicking around looking at things. How the hell would he know? He wouldn't know. It doesn't make any sense. And by the way, notice there's a little archer up here being a dick. Being a dick. So how exactly... Get the fuck out of the way, you fucking chairs. How exactly would he know what exactly it was? Unless, of course... Unless the story that we get in the beginning of the game of they coming from the dark and them finding the souls within the flame and whatnot, unless it was kind of bullshit. And actually, maybe humans, or whatever humans used to be beforehand, maybe the pygmies themselves were not completely what it implies them to be. And that maybe there was some sort of element of civilization beforehand. And maybe all the things that we got in the opening cinematic may be a lie, because it's implying that Gwyn has a fucking uncle, that he has a father, that he actually remembers, that he has relationships of any kind. If a wild animal picked up a Lord soul, like our raccoon friend, and he was suddenly transformed and he gained sapience, and he suddenly realizes, holy fucking shit, I'm a raccoon, I'm eating trash, I know what masturbation is. All the things that you gain with sapience, because sapience is wonderful like that. And once he gains all these things, he doesn't have any family as far as he knows. And he decides, I need to break off elements of my own soul, maybe by fucking things, who knows how that works. That's probably what happened. Gwyn and all the others, they just went around fucking zombies, or the pygmies, until they just turned into things who, I don't know, doing a plague thing. Creepy plague thing. And after that, they became their family. Like, Gwyn took a zombie as his wife or whatever, and then he had Guinevere and Gwendolyn, and his first son that we don't know the name of. And that's now his family. He's the first god. Like all these guys. Manus was the first human. Gwyn was the first god. Quela was the first witch. Nito, the first of the dead. That's the whole idea. And they would be the grandfather of an entire race. They don't have their own fathers. That's the whole idea. So the only way this makes sense is if either the whole opening was a lie of some kind, and there's actually a lot more going on, which would explain why exactly dragons can have descendants, and why exactly Gwyn would have a father or grandfather or whatever, why he can even have an uncle in the first place. Or maybe it's as simple as... Maybe it's as... Actually, let's go down here. Let's be this way, because it's right fucking next to it. Or maybe it's just that he decided that he was his uncle. Maybe just one of the ones, like... He screwed his zombie wife. She became a god in her own right because she received part of his soul or whatever exactly happened. And then she committed adultery or something, I don't know. And they just, it just kept going. They kept splitting off more and more souls into all these guys and creating a race of gods. And at some point, he met another one that, who are you? Who did you get your soul from? And Allfather Lloyd is like, I don't know. But they end up becoming fast friends. And Allfather Lloyd is just like, looks a little bit older than he is or something. I have no idea how this works. And Lord Gwyn just decided, you know what, you're my uncle. And Allfather Lloyd is just like, okay, why not? Or maybe Lord Gwyn just referred to Allfather Lloyd as being his uncle as a way of trying to convince humans, hey, you should trust this guy. And whether Allfather Lloyd is even a god or not, you know, who the hell even knows. But anyways, this is like my favorite piece of lore. It's not the deepest or anything as far as lore information goes in the entire game, but it is probably the most provocative. It is the most bizarre. Anyway, sorry, I started rambling. I even did it even more, but I decided to cut all that out because I did end up saying the same thing over and over again. That is my favorite element of that aspect of the lore. Anyways, sorry. As far as what we're going to be doing in the next part, we're eventually going to be going down here. I just want to point out how fucking huge Seaman's jizz pile is out here. What exactly made it so big, who knows, but what exactly they are doing down there, I have absolutely no clue. But it seems to be that the caves that we're going to be going down into, it seems like it is an excavation of some kind. What exactly they were harvesting, it was probably Titanite, to be honest. And why exactly they need Titanite, I don't know. We'll get more into the theorizing of that in the next episode. But the reason why that we cleared out Sigmaier's little part in the previous episode is because we do need to take care of his daughter that we're going to meet down here in the next part. A lot of things to happen in the next episode, but the most important thing I want to do is to kill this little fucking chode of a Chandler up on the second level. I really hate that fucking guy. Anyways, we'll take care of that in the next part. In the meantime, I guess I'll play more Bloodborne and get fucking irritated with its combat system and think about making a video complaining about all its various elements in a way that's more succinct than what I did in this part. Or maybe not at all. Who knows? But I will see you guys next time. Happy days of Bloodborne if you're playing it. If not, well, too fucking bad. I think even there's been rumors of a PC release coming anyways, which I will be furious about, but also very happy about. Because it would allow me to sell off this used PS4 that I got in the first place. Man, fuck that fucking exclusive bullshit. I can't stand this PS4. It's so fucking loud. I know that if I do a recording on it, if I do a playthrough, this mic, which is like right next to it because it's bolted to the desk, I have to have it here, is going to be right next to the PS4, and it's going to sound like an aircraft is taking off all the time because the goddamn thing is so fucking loud. It's louder than the PC. Like, the PC is 10 times quieter than... I can't even hear the PC. Like, it's on right now, you can't hear anything. Because it's so fucking quiet. You can only hear the game audio. The PS4, meanwhile, is going... Sounds like a vacuum being run like in the next room. Like the room, this door is close to this room, I can hear a vacuum in the next room. So fucking loud. And it's so slow. And I don't even care about consoles. By the way, I also hate the PS4 controller, I realized. I don't have a horse in the race. As far as Xbox One versus PS4, I don't care. Because PC is obviously superior, because all a console is just an old-ass PC. That's all it is. It has the same exact components as a lot of, like, PCs that you can find being sold in Walmart right now. Because all a console is just a miniaturized PC that runs on a very limited piece of software and a very specific set of hardware to ensure that developing on it is much easier. That's all it is. So actually arguing, you know, PC versus console, of course the PC's gonna win. It has to. Because that's what it is. It's just a console that has more to it. Of course it wins. Anyways, as far as having a horse in the race between the two of them, I don't care. I don't care which is better, which has more games or whatever. Because both of them suck. They fucking suck. But the PS4 controller drives me nuts. It hurts my hands after a while of using it. I realized, yeah, I'm using the Xbox One controller now, actually. I don't even have an Xbox One, obviously. But it feels way better than the PS4 controller. In the PS4 controller, I can't count the number of times that I had to set it down gently on my leg, you know, because I had to reach for something, and I start firing off pistol shots using the R2 because the shoulder button, the R2s are so the R2s, the R2 and L2 are so fucking huge, and you just accidentally press them just from trying to handle as carefully as possible. It's driving me crazy, that thing. Anyways, I hate consoles. That's the joke that I'm running with here. That's the reality. It's not even a joke. It's fucking reality. Yay, shitty consoles! Thank you so much for making me buy one. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys next time. I can't wait to bitch about more shit. Because it did feel really good to come back to Dark Souls. Because Bloodborne is driving me absolutely crazy. Not because of its difficulty, but just because of its combat system that I absolutely... Oh, fucking god. Anyway, sorry. My PSN, by the way, ran out. I had like 2 days of it. Since I bought my PS4 used, I don't get 6 months free. I think that's how it works normally. But I didn't get that. So it's gone. I'm not going to have any online components ever. I have managed to get it working as far as recording goes, but I can't record it and listen to the audio at the same time. So if I actually want to play the game, I won't be able to hear any of the audio. So I have a new audio system coming just for the PS4. That way I can actually run the audio through my ID22 and then run that back into my speakers, rather than running the audio into the ID22 and then into the PC and then to the speakers. It's fucking complicated. But thanks a lot, PS4. Thanks a lot, PS4. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Wave. Go ahead and wave to the people, beef jerky. Oh, you look delicious. You know what? Has some bonus footage. This is the only video I've recorded in Bloodborne so far, and surprise, surprise, I recorded it just to complain about the game. The Hunter AI in Bloodborne loves guns, and it loves abusing guns. How so, you ask? Well, let's let the footage speak for itself.